Ebusia mechiachia mo so abedine mo a
a contract in 2019
ye ni nkomo wa wabaso no ma ye ni nkomo ntempa nti minua wabaso a wo hwe me fro bi foforo no no so mra so bi ne enkoya nim eno nko na be ma page no akwa adrechi nti se wabaso a friendofo ne fodofo nso bra so bi yada se so weti na obeye wa wanya feed no fra unia bi no mra so entempa ya na yenka de pese eka emfa nkyere wo mosima ba ko mienu miensa bi ni emfa enema ningum ni enkoyanim minua wabaso mesre o like video no mesese obaso no one like video na it's better say anka o masukra why Inianum, yenshasiye. Sitofe, efua, mechi also do comment aba. Obi ajoso. Ena buzet kwesi, minia buzet, mechi pa inti moa moaba no. Yenche, yenkanja insum Patrick Boama mechi amo. Se mechi obi ewia afeme mebo midin se ade ntina ama anchia. Oba ye na wote so wa amfa comment amba. Into wa amfa comment amba dia. Any everybody or the comment by edin enti mama yenkaja ensum ne enkoya nim misremo mo amabaso no me se be betena hase ya mepese ensem ne ko akiri obitimi mia like enso so won share obitimi share misrewo share ne enkoya nim tentempa wa wabaso bia nipa na ewo no mo nyina mo like yansana ya toaso mo mpese page no ebebi mu akọ me pese obi a ogina so hwe bia like ansa na de yeto aso no de ato aso minia se mo ate de ekoso organa honum no enra ye beka bi fa ho but se wote oman nim na se wo se wo nkohwehwe ne ekoso oman nim na emom no wo be mu obi mom ene bekwa akoti aba beka trewa aden dey no wo behu se ye de wadwen adi agro ene information ebu ewo internet ne so inte ye den na wotena se ma obi eba bedadaawo information no a ewo honum no ebuso se wo ma me atimi de wako school na utimi tro utimi kan a eni kwan se o se wo ye NPP ni nti de NPP fo no be kan na obeti wo ye NDC ni de NDC fo be kan na obeti wo anso so ko internet nso ne ko search se obi ba na obeka bibi kire wo anso so no ko ne ko hwehwemu ni hu se ade na nipa ne ka no o ka no kre na akyerɛw anase odi akohwi na akyerɛw what you say eni se wan kwa ankohwehwemu na so obi obi daadaa wo a obekɔso a aye ye friend se ogimifo de amasa nipa no enu nti na kenoforiata ene akufuado omohu se nipa dodo na ewo ɔman nim no enhwehwɛ no kre no ena wo ka no kra ne kire wo nso a omo aprim omo akoma omo de se ahai na medina enti bibia ni honom medina ha monkoso anyina ho enipa a ono ka kire se there will not be a friend say haircut eno am be kire haircut ne mu kire se enye se ye koyi obi ti o da bi enye ho asem na omuka me maame no amu wodwom aban se there will not be haircut enye se wo kotena barbering shop na obi de ayiwan abatu tiri ho ayi It is far from that. In banking and finance, no, you can say haircut. Net just a baby alcohol investment ni yebi wia no. Omo disika no, na omo disika ni wia na afi omo pese omo tete usika no eso. Omo can say there will not be haircuts no. Ante na minister no esan de aba say kenofori atani akufado minim ejimifo minu omo aka omo adwen abomu a omo pese omo say oman no. There will not be haircut, but sani pakrono can't say debt restructuring. What you say? Minko for you, me duemu ako IMF ankasa page. Enye de ya true. Wa wote brofo me bo video na mo ama IMF actually say sovereign debt restructuring ye can asiye ni say. Minu wabaso. Mon like video no. Na mon so mo maye kasa bre. Like da ho umia so kra na ye odin so be mia so e dia support page no. Bibini more ding. Yes. Because hia me pese feed no e kwetri. Enunti na ya na yesremo okono obi ye ni video na ope se wo mpe dia fine ene me nsewo but wo so ope enso so gese nipa ne catch say like man ansa na waye mutiri mo odin o bi before mo ho adwuma ye din men kan na adam enunti ya na twene Jonas oba na oka mon share na mon yi won sha me yes because won hu se bibini tiri mu odin ye ne hu adwuma but o moa wo na nsan ni a Kevin Taylor sorry ana o ma no wo ho ana obi asend no message no busa say Kevin Taylor ama Kevin Taylor abanso na o ka cho say share ne comment ne like na video no ensem na o ka no enko amanfo foforo ho nso anka wo nye da mo ho ane mo nkofo amonya wo mo a omo sisi mu wo man ni mu no mo ho ane mo nkofo amonya wo mo no ene so mo di sisi mu wo man ni mu no na o mekoso asisi mu because mo ankasa no mo ye stubborn mo ye obstinate bibini like odwen ho a wonte ase ono anim sa ade wi na bebo no so onye da ne ho kire ne dia na okwa akohwehwe se obi moa no yetiri mo den before yetiri mo den de bia me kan sa asem we kire me namfo no mi se bibini na di broni konko aso no a ankam si besi ne anka abrofunda so se ehyenko aso no omunye ni indirect o bibini onye ni indirect say ye be ma freedom ni akote baabi ni dabi onfa man yes masada na meka asem we aba besi asem so enunti ena obi gina sika ho a oye sikasem ho ntotoya oman no call from se no still odasu gina ho because ni timo odin a onim se ade a kenofori atanim se ade a oye no edi ntirima ene ntirima ena ede na mesi won meka na mesa kan bio obi bia a wo support Akufo-Addo any finance minister we se bibi wo bodam etia wo na wo se de ma because I don't just get it say day in day out the economy of Ghana is suffering ekoswa na nya problems yes twon ho nso no before from so emeya musi dabi me ka bibia say me makache NDC for no amote wono Ghana ni option bia the next option ayemo me see Akufo-Addo e de abufu abese Ghana fo mu Akufo-Addo ama pompo abo Ghana fo akoma mu na the next government no dey besi wo Ghana no you mark this video save to be bia any government be ebe succeed Akufo-Addo oba na obe yese obi obedi nkwasasem a me see ye de tuo na beba wo so yankotena manfo kro mu bio emma ye ma ne nko Arab man mu na yakɔdwo nso agu omanum yakɔne ne na ɔmo di ɔmo ti akɔhyehyemu ɔmo kɔ na ɔmo akɔyɛ nkwase adwuma he memma Ghana ni youth bia nkasa ne ho tere no enti ɔkɔso electricity mu na ɔde electrocute ne ho so ofi so ho tere na ususu se politician na ma ho tere wa na woni politician no mo kɔ nananom ho because this is the language since time immemorial in time in antiquity dear politician no anie oya ade a ebe fa ne kra odwen ho a obedwen ho yi and ade bi before yensua ye ama pobia Cameroon watimi atena akonya so saa 40 years oda so te ho na Cameroon 40 ho na ye president onu timi kasa obi kasetia no omo kokyere omo ana omo akuno na mu gina ho na mo hwe wo mo saa di we entimi nsi wo broni bia man so da in history no what to say in Europe obi bedi ade through political or coup means na ono nko abaaye no wa betena so saa 40 years ensi wo broni bia krom but before ye selfish inti ena saa de wi esi wo ye nkrom ye selfish we are naturally born thieves ye akromfo mu akromfo enti ni nue wia obeye din se one ni be wia na nipa dodo no enipa dodo no ho nkyere omo me se Akufo-Addo ama pompo abo Ghana fo akoma mu Akufo-Addo bia na obi enku no wanya ne hu de adidim but o tietire o na o say o de on pipe on say Akufo-Addo nko na o mewia bia o bewia now you come and meet a different group of Ghanaians okun no akuni hu a enye ne din na ade bia yesi ade bia ebeba bia no edikan to ho nsrene de ba eno na ema abrante no esi hardship na ekoso no ontumi oye mate ontimi hardship no into akoso high voltage mu e de akune ho me asem wi a me kan ana ya na mo betena ha na mo insight amanfo wajiminti na wo se ye insight obi wajiminti ena aya mo nwin mo ho yes ye nana mo dwen wo mo nko aho no enu nti na se broni edi ni nua ship mu akwa o dwen nko aho nti no oti nani no na broni afa ni nua na ode ne kwa na wankasa no owie ye no ena obefa ono nso ka ho enso sankofo na ne bu nkwase abeto ho se wokọ na ensu si obi abodwe se no a na wasansuo eja ehye obi abodwe a na wakosansuo dia besi wudie ho onkwase abe no onka ncho se wokọ na eja ehye obi abodwe akoboa no onum no but manense no esini wi a wo de sansuo si wo de wonsene a ejane nyede ema meso adenti a esanse efri ne so a ebeba wo so but omo amu ben se okoneja ehye oyonko a koboa ne maninum no but sansuo si wo de ho ensuo no ankase kosakoma de na bodwe hisi no but sensuo fasi wo de ho yate mo ye selfish ena abrabo no akrobeto ne hwene te se tamak abrabo ne de eye no ane de wabo na enye aban ne panyi bia ne bebo amawo abrabo no eno ane wabo enti slave trade nso eno ane se ye de obi ba eko ne amfa oba anko ibare ye ti ye ni no na ye nyina ya dane slaves esanse ne ye de kwasi mensa ba eko no kodwobu aten ankasa because okosa nso de besi ni de ho na unnim de ejakra ahoden e ba beto odi mu se wonsuo ni betimi adum no a me say Ekufuado me san kabio wama ebufuo abese Ghana fo hwe me ni wo kanyon ewo amanfo over millions etimu say omunya president na ombedi ni bone akase dako ye beda sorry a ebede gegra hwe amanfo abubo politicians na to na aka one day a ebede gegra eno ho asem ne ye ka no afi yemra substantive issue no haircuts enra mitri mu haircuts eye krono debt restriction wonti ase a mebebo IMF wo enye mini video enye NDC video enye NPP video way from IMF expert economics any lawyers a omo ye adwuma IMF International Monetary Fund woman na ebetre ade a ye friend debt restructuring mu e de atro video na me born e bia copyright issues betimi achi but for the sake of Ghana funti me pese mutie I don't care about any copyright issues knowledge and a yeka tie.
Hello, I am Yen Liu and I'm a lawyer at the IMF.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Zettelmeier, and I am an economist at the IMF.
In order to fight COVID-19 and support those hit by the crisis, governments around the world have borrowed large amounts of money. As a result, debt levels are at historic highs. This mounting government debt or sovereign debt brings up an interesting question. What happens when a country can't pay what it owes?
When a country is no longer able to service its debt, there are two possibilities. In some cases, the government can solve the problem by undertaking economic reforms and fiscal adjustment, while asking the IMF for a loan to cover its deficit in the meantime. This works when the debt problem is limited or temporary. In other cases, when the needed adjustment to solve the debt problem is just not economically or politically feasible, we say that the country's debt is unsustainable. The debtor government then needs to approach its creditors and ask them to renegotiate the terms of their payments, a process called sovereign debt restructuring.
What is the IMF's role in this? First, let's look at what the IMF can't do. Only the debtor government itself can decide on a debt restructuring. The IMF is not involved in the debt restructuring decision or the negotiation with creditors. Restructuring talks are very complicated. So what the IMF can do is to give the parties a place to start talks and help them overcome 5 of the biggest challenges to debt restructuring.
Challenge 1, procrastination. Restructuring is painful for both the debtor and its creditors. Governments often hesitate to announce that they want to renegotiate their debt because they don't want to scare off future lenders. But economic problems only get worse the longer countries wait to address them. At some point, the country will have difficulties obtaining new market finance. In such a situation, countries typically turn to the IMF for a loan. But the IMF can only lend to countries that have sustainable debt or that are taking credible steps to renegotiate their debts with their creditors. This incentivizes the debtor government to start the process of restructuring sooner rather than later.
The second challenge is a country's lack of financing. When a country is renegotiating its debt, it typically has no access to financing from private lenders, but it needs financing to prevent disruptive cuts in government expenditures or sharp rise in taxes. To help, the IMF can extend a loan to the government. Again, the IMF can only lend to countries addressing their debt problems.
The third challenge is something called asymmetric information. If only the debtor knows how much it owes to all creditors and how much of its debt it can afford to pay back, this can...
Pacho munti hase. Munti hani ye pa. Mamensa enhwese metimi akwachi na odiaba. Sa asymmetric information has say no mesrɛ mu muntie ha ne yen. Na ebi akoso o man ni mu de all kan nyina no practical but ebi akoso de all kan nyina no crap but asymmetric information no aha no muntie ni ye na meka asemi o de akyere mo.
Information. If only the debtor knows how much it owes to all creditors and how much of its debt it can afford to pay back, this can create distrust with creditors. To prevent talks from becoming a poker game, the IMF helps by laying the cards on the table from the start. It carries out a thorough evaluation of the country's debt situation and the extent to which realistic policy reforms might restore the country's ability to pay its debts. This leads to an estimate of the minimum debt relief that the country needs, which serves as a benchmark for negotiations.
The fourth challenge, a lack of commitment. For a country to receive that relief, it's important that it commits to addressing the policies that led to a buildup of unsustainable debt in the first place, even after they get relief. That is why IMF lending is set up to hold the debtor to its promises. The IMF structures its loan so that it's not a lump sum upfront. Financing is paid out in tranches over time, only when the government meets specific reform milestones.
The fifth challenge comes from a lack of coordination among private and sometimes public sector creditors. A government will have various creditors pursuing their own strategies in debt talks. So what happens if some of those creditors refuse a deal the others want to accept? Here, the IMF helps in two ways. First, when a country is renegotiating its debts, the IMF will only lend to it if its renegotiation strategy is designed in a way that is likely to lead to high creditor participation. This requires careful creditor coordination.
Second, the rules for when the IMF can lend require the country to negotiate in good faith with the creditors it fails to pay. And as long as the country does it, creditors cannot block an IMF loan. This creates an incentive to strike a deal with the debtor.
In addition, the IMF promotes the use of clauses in a debt contract that helps prevent a minority of creditors from blocking a debt restructuring. Together, these policies create incentives for all parties to cooperate. Even with the IMF working to facilitate a sovereign debt restructuring, it can be a time-consuming, highly complex process. But at least the IMF can give the two sides a place to start and incentives to find a solution.
Ninianum video mo hwe enye Ghana media house bia na ye we expert enye se expert no send them no ye video mo amhu se IMF eda video no so kakraka. Yes, copyright issues be bre e wo ho but ye defile all copyright issues just because say ye be kan asem no ye wi na so mo be fa page ne kra na o mo mfa wo se nipa no enya information edebe ntina IMF any minister no any Ghana by go back and forth because of asymmetric information na or kind with madicro when the data or the or information is creditors no and no na adongo eka ho asemo a Mahama ebeka ho asem say oba Ghana parliament no abeka information say oko outside world and now oko IMF an international organization wona oko sika no akoka information foforo eno na omo call ad hoc committee no omo busa ne say ade na onfa figures no o record bi above the line and below the line. Oh, your system ni no ede yesa enso oko IMF o ma IMF ehu nyoma ni nyina but o de ba Ghana parliament e hoda nke be ye home clean up ni nyina no na o de afọ omukon because of the guy is practicing asymmetric information na or can't wasem no. Or conceal some of the information, the financial history, no, or the BCA. Yes, sir. Or say a day, and my woman would do omo cano. Omo yem sisi omo panic. Na omo mpoa omo tinte anka dachi omo aresimu so omo pese omo di omo sika bese omo anim no. Omo mfa ma because omo nim say omfa information papa emfa nto abonten. Muntie one other video. Now who said in restructuring no, anytime a country steps on the path of restructuring, what comes in is haircut. So the minister said there wouldn't be any haircut or bois if there will not be any haircut, and then it means that there should be no restructuring. Restructuring in the same. Say ode enkotoka. Na unni sika a odi betua. Na wo ba me nchen waka chem say enkoto me baji wo sika senka mesi hu sei e de ama afibia na we de mesrew minnya sika ne mfa ma wonti no ensihu no a anka me de beba afibia no me sofa ko ye no mfiem yinu fama me. You are restructuring osane o creditors na ukotnase ayense se ye foforo enunti no se utua e kanso no o ye ne long term interest ne sote emfaso na e wo so na sote o ye ne short term e na unya wo sika no obi beka se wo ene obegi age da bi e ye short term unya wo sika na unya mfaso ho because of say sika at the time na ye adwuma eni so sika kodi obi ho no mo chia na sika na esei but so wodi sika no mo obi na animu ano ade adana ne ho na osan de abrewa na o da bia na o sika na ye dey etumpon and once a minister no asem no kan ye no or say there will not be any haircut on principles or boa there will be some haircut on some principles. And no na Mark Esibe Yeboah, former finance committee or parliamentar, now or member of parliament, dema NPP or say Sawam area or baby, Eastern region area or baby, Waba Bonte at the Ghana web CCA no kasa, or say there will be some haircuts on principles. Principles in India, Usika botinena, or the core yesenka or the kwako didano. Ye nyansi hu amfa ma wo ene ye senti sika no so enti 1 o principal no ya nyan wanya haircut 2 so wo de 10,000 Ghana cedis ne koye so wo de kwa investment e wo data bank na wonim se bosumi bia na se annually afi bia no ye bema obi a be se 10,000 ye bema 1,000 cedis aka ho o koye na se asona wo kojiska na yesi okay ye de 10,000 na wo de bae no an ye de mawo na emum no profit no onsenka when it happen or if it happens like this there has been a haircut on what on your investment adintia se sika nka de koto ebro na ade gu ho na ye se wo ton a sanka mfaso be baso enti wo mfaso no it's also calculated as part of wo usika. In this ye foul profit margin, ye foul interest no ya fa ye we twa e said ye unmi no utri nyu ho ne ye twitwa so no enwini ye wa odia wo enwini ye wa odia na baba ne twitwa so the same thing sika ne ye wa odia but baba na o she bank honum no e na odia paso e twitwa unmi so abra waka chen say me se o me ntwa me nwini bio no na o twitwa so ene ye friend haircut no it one who say haircut no enya ni root from the original meaning no or the basic meaning unim se wako barbering shop ye obi tiri ho ya twitwa uti no etiri no nya baba ne dia eye wo dia the same thing investment money no enya bank ne dia eye wo dia bank no mismanagement in a case of natural hair no the baba no mismanagement ntino otwitwa otiri nwini ese no otwitwa otiri nwini se ni wi at the end day no utiri nwi no ana wo se nka enye na wo de kwa akoye no nines no okoya afia ma utiri hu atutu ene e friend haircut wa wonte ase no ye be break their platform to the level of understanding bia obi abeti ase me maame no a wo ton meko de ye ka haircut nyina ne say udu sika akoma susuru ana de bia oba ohonom ebeji susu na wo ka che say se wotu susu adu afe no ama amede a ye be ma entoma edumfo ma na sa na bi wo ha oye anu ayana enu nti omo de susu ne compulsory savings first no ye nananum nyina oma ye bi pen ye be ma entoma eno na noble dream for ne de ba ya omo be che ntoma de eye ya afi di gu ya omo de amanfo sika ko ye no afei afiason o pesika de akoto bronya ntade de amaoma o hwehwe susuru yi na wakwa akwaju sika one entoma na oka se wo de otu susu ne mano a afeso a ode saa entoma pofa no ebema no o se wanya mfa ma wo ena o se okay wo de wanya mfa ntoma na amame a wo de ye fa me susu na mato no mato susu sei mato 10,000 Ghana cedis fa me susu 100 million ne fa mame susuru ani bie na no a because of enwoma ntin ma me nka ye be so say obeti ase say susu no 100 million no a ye nya ni nyina e ma wo oho ye nya ni nyina e ma wo na sese ni so pese wo ju sika mprimprin ya no a ye diska ni bia ko ye ntino antin ke be ma 80 million 20 million atie free so eno ne ye frɛ ne haircut no ena wo gitum nso na wo diska ne kwa wo ni sika bia wo ne ho bio ntin toma no a ye de promise wo no onsanka epofa no onsanka wankasa usika nso a wode to won kakra eduru 100 million nso no ya tam 80 million ya de ma 20 million no enkwasiafo bi recklessness nti enkwasiafo bi enkwasiade a omo adi nti 20 million ahye eno ne efre ne haircut no eni so bi betra na o ka se odi usika akoye investment individual me say minister no oboa or say there will not be any haircut on the friends say individual holders principle. What about the haircut on the profit no nipa no wa be fisi sika na to bi a be say year eni sanko wa anfa meto bond and or de ko say bantimu say odo bantia anka sika nke 100,000 na nke beba o ma wiamo no me koso wiamo because yembo obi atrim tru wo man ni mu yemmo obi atrim tru e wo man ni mu president mi medi ade e ma citizen bi ntwintuo enko no so enko boni tuo nti e no mo koso adi nkwahasem saa yete wo man ni mu mo ka kire se nam 1 abefa kwati kwan so age manfo sika hey afedi aban na mu sa aban no ano kenuforiata no ono no ye nam 1 we amama dia di say all those ponzi schemes ni nyina no NPP for ene de ba se mo ahwe pa ponzi schemes no eta ba abra NPP wo opposition JJ time ena ponzi scheme bi ba ya ye friend Piram ni bebu Ghana for far so that it will make party no or government no unpopular. Unim say God is love. Ye di be wi amanfo sika won kranza. Justa Motors. DKM Martin Kedele 2020 election no. Na Martin Kedele edimu a omoko campaign. Di obi God is love no obi a won kranza kromu bia nim say asem a meke ye no kure. Maame no obi ye friend Monica Free ye no eye NPP ni mapa. Into Ponzi schemes. Nam 1 woye NPP ni solid enunti na aban no ensa so mu no wagyan no a one nam ho no enti no omo de adimwa wo position omo sa be di aban so a ekufo adomu di abedi yen another Ponzi scheme sa nam 1 na ankasa no o hwehwe nam 1 o hye ekufo ado asan o hwehwe nam 1 na o hye ekufo ado amesesan afemuntie debt restructuring another video me say aha ene yɛde the ipso facto yɛde nokure mu ɔden hwɛ enokure bi ɔmo asi bia yɛbɛbie so ɛde akyerɛ wɔn na afei no ekomo de wa nkokun ho target politician no se mumma politician na wa Africa ehu se osiabo nten a onim ni faith se obetumi asa akosia ne mabak ewofie biwo a omo ya ade a omo badwen ho kwasiama na oye finance minister no ono yare ya okwa America ko san ho yare sika no ewo se ye de ye entutuye e de magana hospitals no yesisi bia wie monkoto mfidie megumu no no adi sika no ahye no e de asɛe no. Now another aspect or say abani be di no kura de atre Ghana for a was say ye cut all the useless social intervention policies nina and akwani busa and say at the free SHs come or say massa we want to save a country not obing kwasia politics obi populist political ideas or policies no yen dropping na. If we want to go, if the country wants to go to its creditors for restructuring of the debts, there and was say a restructure bibia and so. Into video yes so.
Debt restructuring explained. Debt restructuring is a process that allows a private or public company or a sovereign entity facing cash flow problems and financial distress to reduce and renegotiate its delinquent debts to improve or restore liquidity so that it can continue its operations. Replacement of old debt by new debt when not under financial distress is called refinancing. Out-of-court restructurings, also known as workouts, are increasingly becoming a global reality. Debt for equity swap. In a debt for equity swap, a company's creditors generally agree to cancel some or all of the debt in exchange for equity in the company. Debt for equity deals often occur when large companies run into serious financial trouble, and often result in these companies being taken over by their principal creditors. This is because both the debt and the remaining assets in these companies are so large that there is no advantage for the creditors to drive the company into bankruptcy. Instead, the creditors prefer to take control of the business as a going concern. As a consequence, the original shareholders' stake in the company is generally significantly diluted in these deals and may be entirely eliminated, as is typical in a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Bondholder haircuts. A debt for equity swap may also be called a bondholder haircut. Bondholder haircuts at large banks were advocated as a potential solution for the subprime mortgage crisis by prominent economists. If the key issue is bank solvency, converting debt to equity via bondholder haircuts presents an elegant solution to the problem. Not only is debt reduced along with interest payments, but equity is simultaneously increased. Investors can then have more confidence that the bank, and financial system more broadly, is solvent, helping unfreeze credit markets. Taxpayers do not have to contribute dollars and the government may be able to just provide guarantees in the short term to buttress confidence in the recapitalized institution. For example, Wells Fargo owed its bondholders $267 billion, according to its 2008 annual report. A 20% haircut would reduce this debt by about $54 billion, creating an equal amount of equity in the process, thereby recapitalizing the bank significantly. Informal debt repayment agreements. Most defendants who cannot pay the enforcement officer in full at once enter into negotiations with the officer to pay by installments. This process is informal but cheaper and quicker than an application to the court. Payment by this method relies on the cooperation of the creditor and the enforcement officer. It is therefore important not to offer more than you can afford or to fall behind with the payments you agree. If you do fall behind with the payments and the enforcement officer has seized goods, they may remove them to the sale room for auction.
Minia swahu enne mentra ho mo bi mekeka stories nkyerɛw You would deluge huge numbers, plethora of them, huge numbers, videos. Be here. No information di da onaya no. Na otena ho na obi abetena ho na abetena TV3 ono kasa a ompese obeka bi. And information ebu woti ho enkoto be kasa na wafa na ho de nam. Kone ko cheke. Eno nam ye tro no Bible mu say munye te se barrier fo no. Na Paul mo ko kanya mesam ni kire omo a. Omo free Paul mo na ase a. Na o mako bie Bible no na omo a cheke say de nkwasiafo ibe kan yi eno ne ya tro no tro kunkun ni mu ana. But Ghana fo we mu de omo nye te se Christopher omo barrier. Ghana for empese they do not want to behave like the Christians in Berea who always go through the mill to cross-check every clause, every phrase, and every adverb, adjective, collocations, what have you, all the literary devices and all the whatever be a what Bible ni mo check, but more Ghana for the say you guys do not want to behave like the Christians of Berea. You don't swallow everything and go to Kevin Taylor mean of fire or no you swallow it hook, line, and sinker. No. Go and cross-check, say. Restructuring. Haircut name go to Wabet now. Oh, ye did they go? You know, a ye sanity and the finance minister and to all sanity. Don't be bamboozled. Don't be deceived. Don't be deceived by me yield. Me MIT. Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And your ability to read and understand issues no and they important and yet you be cancel and yet the uncle be cancel and go to ban be cancel wa fa a dona award the man in the chain fa a dona award the man loud silence media and fa chain. The loud silence media be catch on go and do your cross check. And yes, sir. Why your cross checker me counter unhuda ye ni timi kasem. Yes, ye cross check. Oko na uko ye cross check na dia me kan no e ye no kra oba o catch me me power cho. Na ensembe ni atena platform we so aka enya no kre. Me se me kan asem hu obi so. Abra mini evidence. Made the video evidence from IMF, omo lawyers, any omo economists, and omo chirimo. Inti dienti ama Ghana ako nyina say Ghana bon kwasi abra. Yes, we admit say global issues see. But before those the global issues no, there were home issues. And there wasn't tackled head on. And some people who have been appointed and they take taxpayers' money every month that they are working, but I don't know whether it was the relation of their duty. I don't know whether they intentionally decided to shirk their responsibility. I don't know whether it is recklessness on their part. I don't know whether it is unintelligence on their part. I don't know whether it is sheer stupidity or super incompetence to the highest level, to the highest exponent. Mama ye kasasa into kasa na kwase biti wo say ye the position ma akwa. I'm not interested. Say me ba be finance minister. The fact that say mente your friend saying pitch side. The fact that I'm not part of those who are the pitch side, controlling the affairs on the pitch, doesn't prevent me from commenting on how Partey traps the ball, how he lays his passes and what have you. I have every right to comment about how Partey traps ball, how he breaks balls, how he dazzle and dashes with the ball, I have every right to comment because Partey is representing Ghana. Not all of the population you bet me I could not feel this is say Ghana Jesse Abama. So a Partey ne say Unimbo Bokra for a boot in the two or never baby dinner center ne diamamo. Inti Partey nyase Jesse nipe, it is assumed, it is implied that a young koto any dinner field nisu nebo. So anytime you are appointed as a finance minister or any portfolio, you, the citizen, the one the politician call ordinary citizen, just understand that anytime minister be a din kwasi asem no, now also ka wanu atum no, na eche se waji atum se kwasi asem enkoso. Eye wo wadwuma a wo se wo ye na minister no gina mu aya ma wo enu nti na wo du siketua ne ka no enye na dwuma se o se wo pese o ye na dwuma onko ni data bank na o ye ni data bank adwuma no wo ti se obi eka obi ho asem won se me de Sam Jona betena e ka no ho asem o mefa Ghana position bia what did they mention say. What to say? Ye can't amount for be or more businesses as him. There be. O mefa Ghana Jason say. So also Bobo for aqua. Now also unshim more bob for aqua. Now beba Black Star. Can who sell bo penalty to Chinia? No table for aqua and almost one can. Obe fat Black Star ta dear say. O Bob to Chinia de pay bit me a catch on your fire wedi. Because ye show. Mon penokre o man no aponokre nti na mo bre no na mo beko so abre with this kind of mentality mo beko so abre the only hodie because o man no apo nokre. Francis Hockey minia Moses Akogu ni amonkoti bitse obi bia wo hwe me. Meaning your number near 0240258269. A JBD or see you know Bofuaqua. She. Meaning Bofuaqua. Meaning Bofuaqua. Enim BA United. Enim BA Stars. Na mi anka saminia. Your friend Sunyain Drogba. Ono di BA Stars. E qualify e the bar premiership no. Ni tisun pa. Inti wo Sunyain na unim player be a near friend no. Sunyain Drogba miniano no your friend Joseph Ham. What he has here? Joseph Ham. When him bossing most of the strikers or Master Ghana this no na semuntia. Ono the BA Stars a qualify a buy or qualify by na Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Skirmishes be obey ye no ono. What he has here? Intiminim sports ye dear tinye ne. You'll be a yes, ye mko skuni ye hwe kotokoni ASP Sonango. ASP Sonango. That was 2000 and something, oh baby. I say obi na kan bro for tetigrameti and once na do mpini bro for no tetigrameti. Inti JBD akon, I know BA Stars, I know Bofo Akwa. Na BA. Friends local dabia imu se ewo Ghana pa enye kotokone haso eye Bofo Akwa any BA Stars ho na obo say yes imu se kransa na kubaji ebe suso BA mu a na okeka ne nsem hunu ne those days no answer BA Stars any Bofo Akwa United ebo local derby hey. One of the hottest local derby, El Clasico pa we say a BA Stars and Bofo Akwa United. They also watna Sunyain and Bunu Mayamu bia no onka asema make me boa. Ye di boy chinye ne wo na asem ntia ne ye jai football people no nka no kra ne ye jai ball na chidi. and ye can politics, because politics ni ya all the other aspects in our bed. ABC quantum pon so 0240258269 open so free furniture wadin ye news ka ye nyohwe ye ma waban so into free from WhatsApp why omokate send me a credit bi say ya ammanfo emfre you know intia no maka che omokate say ye do na se why o say what say ya na make say omofre direct call credit no ebeti mimpese omobeboka so ho mimpese ombeboka because we free direct call na mi metimi atua but wa wo Ghana na untimi ntia so tia say enti nya mi program no na esade untold hardship e de ba be ma what you say enti mi nua kanto na me chia wo kasa
I go to me church with you.
to hwe mi free hifa
Oh, me show you mention I want to answer brother.
yo kasa
Okoto. Me see the dia on oba. It's you asem na me de kwa adwendwem. Enkoto bebi o ma na kwa kodu no sisi awa asem ba akopɛ ene wo se ebem. Asem me se wo se mu de hwegu. Yes o ma ni yi da. Enkoto me come tell because o hwe the partner face be dia country ne kona enkoto opie ni be bia bi mu. Se san kwase afo yi o ma nwu ehwe o ma ni ma enkoto. We bet yes how say ne Ghana pa Mahama Ghana ni ene de ye tete manfo sika wo banzo Mahama na mo so ye incompetent wait you kura wa bon krampo no wa nye we you to me ra ho
that's another
kwa
point
comment me a program de me da say
miss me da se pa me chia obi bia ye chia obi bia wo hwe bia
me sia fo so ti me sia fo ni ti
ye da se pa
it does
anakwa me classic from Menshia ono so na e kan otumfo mu nyina mo nhwe mo behwe e de ya mo behwe so ti ase nti wo nhwe kra na wo behwe I say the number again 0240258269 unia order for din baby akasa free
Hello, Nkoto.
unia pacho kasa
FM Jam kasa free tafo. O tafo.
eja akasa pacho hwe me free ni tafo.
Yeah, o tafo.
Yes. Into wo phone so na wo hwe me na wo hwe no Loud Silence Media.
Oh, me show my phone so.
Okay.
The team of we are Jumapa.
Did
I
I
want
say?
to see the problem is Ghana for you. Sika ye ku ye free bank. Aban obi ka aban ne chi ye hunu so ban nye papa. Nti pragmatically solutions be na mo amo ye adwuma di nti wo de mo ye na so babu no e wo Ghana no ya som na so mobilizing crowd na ye se be ya de mo ye mo mrem ye nyina e be nye fam di
Minia Alcasa Frita for ye can some practical steps are who your baboon out to Ghana, Hona Unya Quine to Quanya. The first and foremost thing I was a mebuna Wagana in Adam Wadrin Koso a year agriculture and a full year. Okay, sadly, we may say me whole topic, my yem may be a chemo, but may they. Mesaba be kasa fa emrante ne maba wa mo Ghana o ofa eti akwantu mu a o sori a wo de iPhone ne Samsung ha no aban ana Ghana mpanyimfo no nwemo ho ene ye kasa say at least no omo nwemo ho te say de omo dwen omo yire ne omo ma ne omo girlfriends ho no but omo so omo nwemo ho omo nwemo ho a mo nhyase enwemo ho na wo shase on na wo dwen ho a the easiest way obi beka se wo afu ye na asase ade beye no enye asem ketwa Ghana ho no obia ho asase wo ne kura ase ka chem se me bo asinia
anakra
die ntia enye ne se ye nyina ya nteki up se ye be make huge and tough sacrifices because restructuring na me kan ye no video no so hwe ya o papa na o chim no o se a tough decision abana hu se wadi nkwase asem ate in the say no one tete amanfo sika so a ebeye kra musika ne mpom nsanka entin e wosam nso take tough decision say se wo asase bi da baabi na wonyansi dan wo so a minua try say obekwa akosua tomatoes edo na odua do tomatoes one plot what the madanse die ebe breme se wonim se ne yesi do tomatoes a ko YouTube ne type how to cultivate tomatoes videos be brio ho senia emrante ne maba ho ne bitimi spend credit edihwe pono edihwe sa akode music ba sa akode wo ho kire no o mekasa mawo fa sa credit no for says can koto credit ne ko YouTube how to cultivate tomatoes how to cultivate this now there ko try ne hwa ade enye easy to say the make kire wo no me meka ensamode emfantreo efuo ye enye easy enu ntinam say you have to make sacrifice enu nkwa ne bitimi age Ghana sisi ya ewi enti se okwa akoje iPhone sika obi te Ghana oni adwuma bia ye ena oti ne wofa no mo abrochi so we di 10 million no de aba we di we no de aba oje a na ode akwa akoto iPhone emre bi me catch you say o de koto iPhone a ebe hwe ani be pai obesa akose yem fix screen ni ma wo fa koto ukura 2000 Ghana cedis a koto mponche obi mponche na enwan emma na fa omo guma ntemu ho omo abekwa akochintina akodi wo omo ho de abrew a omekwa akonyem de abrew ma ho bosumi nsia ma ho afe ebedru ho no na iPhone 2000 isika no na ukure bia mponche bia be se 4 mponche ni nyini na opese wo ton bi wo mu a ene aponche bia bro 1000 Ghana cedis 84 no aponche bia ne nso bia ni ho a okwa akoto wo fa mfiti honum na aye nwura de ama obi de nti amanka enkokonye ne se enkokonye eye capital intensive e kase bibi e capital intensive a e kire se ehia sika one a tedious and laborious a jimre na edin inti enono onye already established individual a wo sika yenkoye nkokonyen and poultry they are susceptible to all manner of infections and diseases. Treating poultry, especially day old chicks, enye easy. It sucks. And num nipa emuja and num nipa moja emuja here means sika. But okoto aponchi, okoto udjain. How many times now what say aponchi wewu and unti yesi aponchi or a good browser? Oh, nehwe se o multiply usika na.
Hello.
Minia, udin baby akazefri.
Within the Cabore, make us free Rome, Italy.
Rome, Italy, minia kasa.
Yeah. My fan, the Ecoso Ghana, the Memfano, I don't know, ABC, because Memfano 2020 election, which is uncommon and come say bum. Or say, you know, say bum. But a good Ghana for Moncherom. Yeah, normal.
I made the passer what cheer me from 2020 now, BC this time.
One said the Bia me frewa, make a show say prophet in Goto. Because Nkom say now, say, you know, Bako cramp by infant. Me all the time, but Memfano.
You see, when you come say Aka, when you come say Aka, we say Bemo. Me see unim di aka pa. Me say di aka ne say afi Akufo-Addo ebe pese obi dwane afiri akonya no so eno na aka.
No, say so dwane na ko Kumase no be kwa dwane. Right. Ko Kumase no be kwa dwane. Enti memfa na normal because Ghana na yehia war. Yehia war once ya kro no yentimi nchechire.
But one so see Liberia. War no necessarily no enye na the freedom beba wo.
No, war no, and yes, a Bekunipo. Wow, be Jane. Heat in Bao so, wow, be Jane. Say to Guano, wow, Jane, no, Wakotanaho. Oh,
Timinia, that's it.
Obey your BPR, but you won't mean to them.
That's a pa Cabori. Nti ene da hono ala kaka vien French bi ne kan ne French say no crew say no crew me dem akan wi say no crew me makan wi nti asem no da hono ya kan wi iwi ekoda nti obi ba na cultural debt restructuring haircut ni ade a eno an enkoto me dia begu from dia man no ne wo se won te ase no onko IMF na page non kohwehwe mfiri ho so ma bedi intro de akire mo a videos don't lie minia Amaria 1 brother Ike me to nkache Barnabas Dakura or say it is very true in Koto. It costs a lot of money to feed poultry and nekra poultry feed no and virtually ade bia ade be feed poultry no imported because you need feed formulation plant bia ho. So just here, you need be organa ho. I know what I'm talking about. The easiest way, senye religion, nswa na baby a wono you invest in pigs. Pigs edidi, but most of the feed no ubenya no locality nimo. Now be set me no local we say bia the feed pigs no. And on the only disadvantage and say omi a prolific ye ka so be abo be a prolific a che say or will be bree and it way or ye prolific striker a che say or she goals be bree or ma resource be bree into your case will be a prolific a che say or ma huge or great numbers of results and na say open suswa obenye nanko. Depending on the geographical location, you put into consideration the faith, the belief system or me and cremofua, cremoni, obewia no ho akori friends precontre enso so ohun se wo nya preko no na otete no ho na ode be sell business. These things don't work for businesses to thrive. Religion enso so no no menya memfa won twatwo emfa wo call we twatwo.
Oh, okay, me that's it. Where na me ando my we matinye nyam. When you see what I do,
that's it. That's it.
Nyame asini adwuma pa wo bomo my Ghana. Me de bia me kan me se we de washia ade. Washia ade. Bia so a wo ka bia hihire wo. Na me send text bi kra to ho se nkrofo a they say more Casa BBB and third force. Politicians are the same. And I'm asking a simple question: if politicians are the same and you want to bring third force, automatically you become a politician. So how different will you be? Hello?
Yeah, exactly. It's a fantastic question. If politicians are all the same and you are clamoring for a new force, aren't you also a politician? And so, if A and B are politicians and the same, and C2 is a politician, why can't we equate A and B to C?
That's it. So exactly. Once you also become a politician, you also be like them. If you
That's
think they are the
it.
same, but if you think you are going to be different from them, then it means that somebody is also different from the other person.
Exactly. This is a fantastic explanation.
All politicians are the same. That one is neither here or not there.
All politicians are the same. And so it's not politician. Be more case dum so nyina akra no. We seek that bank. Yamfa nsa nkwa ankoka. Na Mahama te ho no. Na banks na ekufu ado be gu no no. Na nko no so betimi agu no. But odwen oman ho ka se da bi. Yenhu no. Yenso so na sen kakrankra. Isan se backlist mu nyina no. Na nka ye agu. But ye saw na se no and ne backlist enyini ama ne nkura bata nyina yede baby apa akwasi ndum kodru ye no se ye saw na se ne yede ne kwose prison kura ne man bank ne tena se ankenye
Exactly.
Mini that's it. That's it pa. Oh, Mimi I know my great point, but feed no you too much. Mike if you do me your brother Ike. Yeah, the BC has a brain and ya break. So what you say my grace period be na yeah, it's in the BC ha. But they make catch ni. Or my mu ye din say ya. You go back to your roots. And what is your root? Agriculture. You don't just go into agriculture say, oh koye edi fili on kwa we no oni there be. Se untumi invest in the Kenya. Oh, nipa ba ko bi so afre a wo de ma me mfa nsem. Me nua me hye wa ye ne snap ma ye na nka na wie, but ye ne snap ma me.
Okay, go to this
Doji, me nua Barcelona kasa ye ne snap ma me.
Go to the simple thing is what we think na was ka wo ye kasa haircut. Who say be buy am ba e hye wala wo pa ko yi wo mpa jai. What I say? And that's the only thing. At the end of the day, you will see because they told her they will not go to IMF. They went there. There's going to be a booming when e-levy drop. We didn't see anything.
That's it.
Agriculture and teaching a good women. I want to go into it. So I have my lectures on that, please.
Mate. And I mean ya Doji, I can hey say finance minister say there wouldn't be any haircuts on individual bondholders as a principal. Now Ujidia, it's up to you. And I do jikano. Any pano a walk as asibu yacho or no catch us there. We will not go to IMF today, we will not go to IMF tomorrow. And yet you know the IMF from Pumano. Any pano cano, Muntia 11 na mutia, say at the tin and on the estimate or ye. It dear netra will say, or catch or say, wo usikane da hono, on fanning sanka, what jedi, affidie, or damn Ghana web no patch or say. There shouldn't be any kind of panic withdrawal or more disicano. This time, Minuano amote the trenches. More titi ten or more case. Politicians ye peno. Anka moma yenka se ye ka bumu. Yemfre NDC. Any Mahama. Nye man warning say. What be ye president da? And yes wo me ye president da. O ye mfumsuo ni bi. O ye papansu bi. This time no. What problem ne wo ho? It is only an experienced hand. And a bit me boy. So what bet ne no? What experiences and na wo pese odiba yenye forum ne Musa Mahama se o man o mekasa ntre Ghana fo a obekasa ntre Ghana fo a na ya man na sisudua ameki. You see, there are certain things be on wa ama politician anka de enti Akufo-Addo ebrem se Akufo-Addo talk or kasa bibri ena ne kasa no ema ye di natem. Enye ye ne edi Akufo-Addo atemu. Akufo-Addo catch yen say obema adwuma buso ama outsiders nyina ba benye adwuma ye. Ene ne ye busan say adwuma no wo hia wo se ye di Akufo-Addo atem. Enti so bi ka sem say obe eya ma no anya ma na ode wakoma ene wa adwen ene wo bre edi di agora oye jimifo ana onye jimifo. Enye me na me di natem. Akufo-Addo na suban bone ene edi no no ho atem. Yema Mahama committee ne ho fanche Ghana youth. On committee ne ho. Because sa ensem no opese third force no be kan Mahama ebenso betimi aka bi ono owo experience. Oka kra haleche no. Obi ba so obeje de akwa yi a na ubusa se minia o ka kra and I say I wo the bus akọ Ghana na ye the driver bro say driver we na say opese obeje car na wotwi de kọ Accra ni Kumasi na ubusa say na we our experience ana ade na wonfa ne na ne third force na wonfa car ne man o pe experience because one pe say ye do car be kwa akopim ade a eda no bi ye de akwa bi ba ya o wie driving school no ana oba ye na obeje car de kopim ye ne de o pe de o experience hand. Oka or trot de open experience hand. Now the obe manage the economy no, you don't need an experienced hand. Moya bodam for sani ebetimi aka chem. Kofi Kranten on wetimi to 20 fee fill forms near found the and cabalo seat went to me. Went to me. A basin ne won't me manchly will be sorry dinety. Oh, yeah, the third force over a basin near this time and age. Third force near day ban. Nipa na modern by won't mean for any D man betrayed. Na nipa who say ye be busan question A and a busan question B. Where omo ye debate the man smaller groups no ne independent candidates no. Omo ko ye you know. Ye buso omo question na. Where kwasase bi anomo nyina ekeka. Kofi Kuranten whining ono kokachi amanfo say amanfo whining okokachi ahonfe Lindsay ahonka Lindsay say you guys keep on whining. Ye ma Kofi Kuranten questions are he was also whining. Mary Kofi Gan also was whining. Baku be a GHS leave a GSHS leave a year also no kaho also sa kasatintin and toponko. We need an experienced hand to man the economy of Ghana for us. Wayam from Swoda. When you baby a utia pie, unkutia ho. Edmisi Hanyanko Ponko Bibiao. Oliver Graham from Pomechao. Matthew Bibia Pauline Bapia Bridget. You have been with me. And I could became born great. Any other four mobile, but Pauline dear. Pauline Openi friends Kwesitando Ekoteria in Kofu they have been with me day one. Vivian Opon Tema Edicote or no dear Miankasa no more munim no Tema Edicote dear or no my sister Penny pa in the baby and bohun be a moons a yam koto ne sister Penny ni Tema Edicote what he has here Eric Fancy so Eddie che it shall be Zag Doche also so can be. What they say, what they were Bushian on our gate nano. My cramo made obi biase. Pauline, Mechia no money in ano. What you say? Mary Kuma, long time. And I say, bye bye. Ya cramo.